Call sign for recognition by net control. This net has a backup of on the 146.685 repeater in case of repeater failure. And in addition to that, we also have the UHF repeater as a backup on 443.375. The purpose of this net is to support and maintain emergency communications in Baldwin County, and all amateur radio operators are welcome to check in. Is there any priority or formal traffic for the net this evening? All right, hearing none, at this time we will start normal check-ins. Stations located north of I-10, please come now. Ron, N4RT, good to hear you. Want to make sure I got that right. My radio cut out for a split second.
N4RT, Jared, doing a great job with net control. Thank you, over.
Copy that. I appreciate it. So I'm clear with N4RT. Will the next station north of I-10 please check in? Are there any other stations north of I-10 that wish to check into the net tonight? Please come now. All right, hearing none, let's move to stations located south of I-10 and west of 59. Please come now. And when you check in, give the repeater a brief second to catch up, and then do your call sign.
Kilo 4, November, Whiskey, Delta, Kansas, Real. Good evening, sir.
Kilo 4, November, Whiskey, Delta. Ken, good to hear you. Glad you could check in with us this evening. All right, got you in the log, so we'll move on to our next caller. Please come now.
This is November 4, Juliet Kilo Echo, Christine in Summerdale.
Good evening, Christine. Good to hear your voice. Thank you for checking in. Normally you would have somebody else there with you. Do we have another station to check in?
Yes, Jared. This is November 4, Juliet Kilo Foxtrot, John from Summerdale, Marlow area as well.
Good evening, John. Thank you for checking in as well. Recalling names while also trying to type and trying to listen does not do well, so thank you for checking in. We'll move on to our next station that is south of I-10 and west of 59. Please come now.
This is Kilo 7, Alpha, Charlie, Tango, John, in North Poland.
Good evening, John. Thank you for checking in this evening. I'll be clear with Kilo 7 Alpha Charlie Tango, and moving on to our next station south of I-10 and west of 59. Please come now.
This is Kilo 7, Papa Bravo Victor. This is Dennis, Live Oak Village, in Foley.
Good evening, Dennis. Thank you for checking into the net this evening. I will be clear with Kilo 7 Papa Bravo Victor, Dennis, and next station south of I-10 and west of 59. Please come now.
November 4, Romeo Alpha India, Craig and Daphne.
Good evening, Greg. Thanks for checking into the net tonight. I will be clear with November 4 Romeo Alpha India. Next station south of I-10 and west of 59. Please come now. Are there any other stations south of I-10 and west of 59 that wish to check into the net tonight? Please come now. All right, hearing none, we'll head to the next section. Stations located south of I-10 and east of Highway 59. Please come now.
This is Kilo Quebec 4, Papa Juliet Mike, Henry, Alberta.
Good evening, Henry. Appreciate you checking into the net tonight. From Alberta, I'll be clear with Kilo Quebec 4, Papa Juliet Mike. Next caller station, next station south of I-10 and east of 59. Please come now. It sounded like somebody broke squelch, but I did not get a call sign or any other part of the message. If somebody tried to check in, please try again. All right, are there any other stations that are south of I-10 and east of 59 that wish to check into the net? Please come in now. All right, are there any other stations listening that would like to check into the net? Again, this is open to any amateur operators to check in. If you'd like to check into the net and have not done so, please come now. All right, hearing none, this is Kilo Quebec 4 Uniform Alpha Quebec, acting net control for the Baldwin County ARES net. At this time, I'll turn it over to, I would say our EC, but I'm going to hand it over to Greg for any comments.
Thank you, Jared. This is N4RAI. Of course, everybody needs to keep an eye on the weather. National Weather Service thinks it's going to get pretty dicey Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Also, for those who may not be aware, tomorrow is Doug's last day at the EMA. It was announced this morning that Amanda Thweet will be the new Director of Operations, so we welcome her. She plans to come to the meetings next week to introduce herself. And also just to remember that Mark is our quota. We still need a couple operators to come in, volunteer to come in and set up their radios. So we get a little practice. And also we've got permission from the EMA I will be bringing one of their go boxes and antennas so you can see how that sets up just in case you need to do it. And that's all I've got. N4RAI, back to you, Kilo Quebec 4 Uniform Alpha Quebec.
All right, Greg, appreciate it. The only thing I will mention, just because I still got some time and it sounds like they may still want or need some help, the Make-A-Wish Cheehaw Trailblaze hike that's happening the first week of May and the second week of May. I believe they still could use some help, so if anybody wants to help with that, get in touch with Greg or Ken. Both of them have the contact info for our point of contact with that, but they are looking for operators to help with check-ins at Cheehaw. It will be camping, but it's a great opportunity to help an organization that is in dire need of communications because there is no cell service up at Cheehaw, so they need help with the amateur operators. So I'm going to give the repeater a second to breathe. I'll double check. Is there any other stations that are listening that would like to check in at this time? All right, hearing none, we'll move over to the Elmer's Corner. Does anyone have any questions of a technical nature or anything of a technical nature they would like to bring up at this time during the net? I will bring up one thing that seemed to intrigue, I think it was Greg during the regular club meeting on Monday. I was testing whether or not I could use a mag mount in the backyard rather than attaching it to my vehicle to get UHF signal, and I was able to literally just put the mag mount on the roof of my house on the porch, and it seemed to have worked rather well. So if anybody's curious and wants to try it, if you've got asphalt shingles and a spare mag mount or one you want to disconnect and put up there, give that a shot. Connect it to your SWR meter and check it, because mine worked rather well. Obviously not secure, it's not magnetized to anything, but in a pinch it would get the signal out. All right, so at this time we'll pull the net for any questions or comments. The question I have is everyone prepared for the bad weather that is potentially going to hit us this weekend? We'll pull the group in check-in order, so I'll start off with Ron, N4RT. Are you ready to go?
Jared, well, I'm about as ready as I'm going to get. I've been working on some other projects here this week, and hopefully we won't have it that bad. I'm hoping that this rain will clear out some of the pollen. I've been sneezing and coughing all day with a runny nose, so I'll be glad when this pollen is over with. Back to you, JQ4 UAQ, that's 4RT.
You and I both were. You guys might be able to hear the nasaliness in my voice. That my congestion is acting up, most likely because of the pollen as well. I am hopeful that the weather does not hit us, and it is not horrible for anybody across the area. But I saw James Spann on TikTok earlier, and he usually only posts videos when it is getting rough. So fingers crossed it doesn't get too bad this weekend. So I'm clear with N4RT. I'll move over to Ken, NWD. Ken, how are you doing? You prepped for this weekend?
I was pressed and done with a K4 NWD. I just put my 10, 12 meter vertical dipole back up. It got blown down in the last storm, and I think I've got it secure enough it's not going anyplace this time. But I guess I'm ready. Probably need to put some stuff away that might get blown around, but yeah, so I hope everyone stays safe.
All right, glad to hear. I'm clear with Kilo 4 November Whiskey Delta, and let's check in with Christine. November 4 Juliet Kilo Echo. Are you prepared for any potential bad weather this weekend?
This is November 4 Juliet Kilo Echo. Yes, I'm all prepared, and just make sure that everybody has everything picked up around so that in case there is heavy wind, it is out of the way and doesn't get blown in somebody else's yard or whatever. That's it. This is N4JKE, and I'm clear.
Glad to hear you guys are ready. I've got a couple things that probably need to be taken down, or at least Friday night when the weather is supposed to get bad. My J pulls up on a temporary antenna that I can throw up pretty quickly to get a signal out. I'll take that down before the bad weather hits. So I'm clear with November 4 Juliet Kilo Echo. Move over to John, November 4 Juliet Kilo Foxtrot. Are you also prepared for this weekend?
Yes, I am. I just have one thing to do is N4JKF, and I got a couple of things on the front porch for the stray cat that comes by. So I'll get his dishes put away and his pad put away, and that's about all that I have to worry about outside. The rest is kind of all secured already, and we're just waiting to see what happens and hope it isn't too serious. You're running a fine net here, Jared, so take care. 73 to you and everybody else. It's November 4, Juliet Kilo Foxtrot, and I'm clear.
All right, John, I appreciate it. I'll be clear with November 4, Juliet Kilo Foxtrot, and we'll head over to John, Kilo 7 Alpha Charlie Tango. How are you doing, and are you prepped for this weekend?
Yes, K7ACT. Good evening to the net. And I'm about as ready as I can be about getting out of here. I'll put it that way. I don't think I have anything outside that I need to worry about. So we're ready, and we're going to be back to K7ACT.
All right, glad to hear. Clear with K7 ACT. Let's move to Dennis. Kilo 7 Papa Bravo Victor. Are you prepared for the potential weather this weekend?
Well, I'm just hoping for the best. I guess I need to remember to probably unplug everything that I don't need to use, and maybe use my handheld. But it depends on how the lighting is and whatnot. So anyway, just hoping for the best. 73 here.
Yeah, part of the reason for me taking down that temporary antenna, it is not bonded to anything. It is definitely a semi-permanent structure that I will take down in bad weather. All right, so I'm clear with Kilo 7 Papa Bravo Victor. Let's move to Greg. November 4 Romeo Alpha India. Are you prepared for this weekend?
Like most of the others, about as much as I can be, I think. We will see what happens.
Copy that. I think we're all just hoping it's not going to get too bad. So I'll be clear with N4RAI. Let's go to Henry. Kilo Quebec 4 Papa Juliet Mike. Are you prepared for this weekend?
Hey, Jared. Yeah, I assume that I'm ready for the storm. My biggest concern is timing. I think that my plan is to just disconnect my antenna from the radio.
Heard that. That is a big concern for all of us in radio, 100%. Normally we would switch over to the other repeater. I think we tested the UHF repeater last week, and I tried to get on Weeks Bay earlier, and the signal was pretty rough. I don't know that I would be able to get over there this week, so I think we are going to skip moving to another repeater. Unless anybody wants to chime in real quick and let me know they want to test the UHF. I know we've had to do that a couple times. If anybody would like to test theirs, I'll be happy to stick around and QSY. I'll break and let anybody chime in if they would like to make that switch. All right, and hearing none, is there any final business for the net this evening before we close it out? All right, and at this time, I'll close the net on this repeater, and everybody have a great rest of the day, a safe weekend, and 73s. We are closing the net and returning this repeater back to normal amateur radio use at 17:20 p.m. Central. Have a great night.